Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Hard Reset Show. I'm Tyler and I am joined with Julian.
Hello.
And we'll be discussing all the great gaming news that has been going on. Nathan cannot join us because he is sick and sleeping and who knows, he's British.
We hope you feel better, Nathan.
I guess.
We dedicate this to you. We dedicate it to you.
This is for you, man. Manly tears. Manly tears. So, the first thing we want to talk about is Roller Coaster Tycoon 3D for the Nintendo 3DS. Julian, what did you want to talk about?
Alright, since we all know there's a big fiasco going on with the release of the game. Originally supposed to be released in March, then later on, then May, and now the retailers changed it again to like June, July, or an August release. So it's been all over the place. Where I wanted to start off with was that Nintendo Power, as I do believe I mentioned the last podcast, gave it a review score of 5.5. They weren't impressed with the amount of stuff you could build in your parks, whatnot, etc. So that's that. That's the only review actually out for the game at the moment. Atari, a few weeks before March 22nd, stated that there has been no solid release date for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3D yet. On Facebook over on InSpace's wall, I think it's kind of funny, but everyone's pretty much been, I don't know how to properly say it, but I was not really attacking, but going a little crazy on the Facebook page about when is this game getting released, you guys suck, Atari sucks, blah blah blah, etc etc. It is really frustrating because fans have been waiting almost 6 years for a new sequel to this game, even longer than that. And for Atari to constantly be changing the release date like this, it is kind of ridiculous. It's pretty much starting to turn into Duke Nukem Forever at this point. And unfortunately that game turned out to be shit in the end, as we all know. But that's besides the point. About 4 days ago in Space on the Wall, they made a post about it, pretty much saying, let me bring it up now. Okay, this is what they posted on the wall. A note to our valued RCT fans and supporters. We truly appreciate the passion and enthusiasm you are showing for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3D. Like you, we look forward to the release of the game, which we are quite happy with. Per publisher request, we cannot comment on the release date. I know this is frustrating to many of you and that there is quite a bit of confusion on the subject. Furthermore, we have provided all the material that we can support in this release. Please visit the official site for more info. We will continue to leak relevant information, previews, reviews, and news updates as they become public. Meanwhile, I ask that you stop hijacking every post with RCT comments. Your persistence is admirable, but it tends to be a conversation killer. Thanks again for your support and understanding, Dan in Space. There's a lot of things wrong with this, but as I just did, I laugh at the last part where they mentioned I asked you to stop hijacking every post with RCT comments. And all in all, I kind of take this post to be passive aggressive. They actually seem pretty angry that all we kept doing is bitching and moaning about it. As well as the fact that they said, visit the official site for more info. Okay, the big problem with that is, guys, that site has not been updated since the announcement of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3D. And besides that, the site has no information whatsoever. It has never been updated. Pretty much all it does is talk about Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, because that's pretty much a Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 reskinned site. They say they'll continue to leak to relevant information, previews, reviews. They have not done that. They've said it once about the release date, and that was it. And another time saying, oh, there's a preview on the 3DS eShop, and that's it. So I don't really put much blame into them because they are the developers. The publishers are the one who make the big calls here, which is Atari, but they aren't doing a good job with it either, because pretty much every time they refer to the game, it's, oh, well, we don't know when it's coming out, but we'll let you know. That really doesn't tell us anything. That really doesn't help us. And this game is quickly starting to turn into vaporware to a lot of people. With the release schedule it's going with, the lack of any previews or news for it, the horrible review that's already out for it, I don't think this game is really going to get anywhere when it gets released. Now, on the contrary, a lot of us are actually hoping with our fingers crossed that, you know what, maybe Atari actually took the review to heart and it actually caused making InSpace fix the game or make it better or whatever. That's wishful thinking. This is Atari we're talking about here. They're just as bad as EA is with their games. EA for a fix would probably charge you a day after release to actually make the game better. So I highly doubt that. And then the other thing was to add on top of that was E3 is coming up. Maybe they decide to just, because one of the earliest new release dates is like June 19th. Maybe they're just decided to wait, another month. So that way they could give it a big exposure at E3. So that way they can generate hype for it or, some form of advertisement or whatever with a gameplay trailer or something. But once again, it's a very slim chance. So that's pretty much what the update is for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3D. The more the release date keeps changing and the more bullshit we keep getting fed, this is quickly falling off my radar sooner than you could think, and I probably won't even care about it when it comes out.
I have to say you're really delusional about thinking that InSpace would work on it or that Atari is gonna make it a big E3 push.
Hey, I said there is not barely a chance for that. That's wishful thinking, but I know for a fact that's probably not what happened. Especially like I said before, Atari, they don't do shit for their games, so. Especially since InSpace already said that the game is done. I'm pretty sure it's already gone gold, especially since Nintendo Power has already played it. I just don't really see what the issue with it coming out is.
Yeah, they didn't they say they finished it it was like 3 or 4 months ago. It's been done for a while.
Yeah, it's been done since January. InSpace actually confirmed back in January. The game is done. We're just waiting for the publisher's consent to let us release it. One of the interesting things I want to throw in there that I've actually just recently been thinking about, those of you who have been following Roller Coaster Tycoon since the release of 3, there is like a huge legal debate between Chris Sawyer, the original creator, and Atari, pretty much over the game's right. It could actually be a possibility that was supposedly settled actually like 2 years ago or something around there. It could actually be possible that there's still a legal dispute going on with it. That's why it hasn't been released. I'm starting to think that's probably the case here. That's why none of them have said it, because something more attractive to tell your fans is, hey, the original designer is still trying to sue us for the game, so we're not going to release it yet. So that could be the case too. We don't know, but I just hope both of them get their shit together eventually.
I feel bad for InSpace because, like they said, they can't comment about it without the publisher's consent.
Yeah, and it has to be painful because they finished the game. They want people to play it, and the publishers are just not allowing them to do that.
Yeah, there's a similar thing with the WiiWare game. I'm gonna butcher the name. It was like La Matuna. Okay, I totally screwed it up.
Yeah, because that doesn't sound familiar to anything.
1 second, let me look up the name. It was gonna be published by Nicalis. It was called, oh, there you go, La Mulana. I don't know why I got tuna out of there.
At least the beginning was right.
But yeah, La Maluna. Maluna. I'm not good with words. Let's just say that. Anyways, that game has been it's been done pretty much since like 2009. Got released in Japan, and it's been trying to come to North America, but it keeps coming up in snafus, and just repeatedly the developers saying, hey, we can't really speak on it without Nicalis's consent and everything. So I mean, you gotta feel for InSpace here. I don't think they don't like having the fans in the dark, but there's really nothing they can say about it.
Yeah, especially a good example would be Heroes of Ruin. They're giving a huge amount of exposure for that game. So they're fans of their own creation. It's not something where they really want to show it off or anything. They're proud of their creations. And I believe, is it Square Enix publishing Heroes of Ruin?
Yeah, and Square Enix is a lot more professional than
Yeah, for sure. Because I know what some of the other games that Square Enix partnered up with Western devs for, they've done a really good job giving the game exposure. So, unfortunately, Atari had to be the ones to still be holding on to the Roller Coaster Tycoon name. I honestly, to be honest with you, if the thing continues, I'd probably just change the name and just release it as something else. But...
well, I'm pretty sure they can't do that.
Yeah, it's what's wishful thinking. But like I say, they just need to, I'm hoping Atari surprises us with something, but that's not going to happen.
So, Julian, since we talk about it every episode, what are you currently playing?
Right now, I've been playing a mixture of a lot of stuff. Uh, Mainly right now, what I've recently gotten is Mario Tennis. I guess you could say I've been playing that the most, for these past few days. So, Mario Tennis it is.
Yeah, is that the last game you got as well?
Yep.
Yeah, what I've been playing recently is Mario Tennis Open for the 3DS. Really enjoying that game, and we'll discuss it some more down the line.
Actually, I totally changed my mind on that. I'll say Diablo 3. I played that actually the whole day today, so I retract that
There we
statement.
go. I've been playing Mortal Kombat for the Vita, really enjoying that, and been playing Uncharted 2 and just finishing that up and really enjoying that. And I gotta say, I recently picked up the Circle Pad Pro at GameStop. They got one in that day, and I was lucky enough to have gotten that. And I've really been enjoying it with Resident Evil Revelations. And I thought maybe I'd find it uncomfortable, but I really haven't had any problems with it so far. I know, Julian, you did not have such a positive experience with the Circle Pad Pro.
I didn't. To be honest, I mainly got it as just a hand grip for the 3DS because I have really big hands and the corners of the 3DS dig into my palms, so it gets really uncomfortable in extended gaming sessions. And of course, I'm like, oh, extra joystick and buttons for Kingdom Hearts, Resident Evil, and all that stuff. So I actually got one of the first batches when it came out. I was a lot less than enthused when I first got it. My problem with it is, it's gonna sound really weird, but when I held it, I literally felt like my hands were suffocating. It felt really bulky, but I've held bulky stuff before, so, it's whatever. I played games with it. They worked really well. My problem is how deformed it makes my 3DS look by adding this extra side to it. And I tried to get used to it because it just felt awkward with my face looking on one side and my hands are like a little bit further down the road. Whenever you play a handheld, pretty much everything is just symmetrical. Your hands are on both sides, comfortable looking down the middle and whatnot. I don't know if it's just an OCD of mine, but that was really distracting to me. But mainly the whole thing was just, it made my hands really uncomfortable. It made my hands really sweaty. Just the back of it felt like, I'm trying to find the words to describe it. I don't want to say ventilation because it sounds stupid, but
That does sound stupid.
it does sound stupid. But like I said, it just made my hands feel like they were suffocating as I held on to them in the back. It was really bulky. That's what I didn't like about it. And right now I actually got a third-party grip for it, and it feels miles better than what the Circle Pad Pro felt like. Its form factor was just too big. If it would have been smaller, even if it still had the little attachment to the side, it would have been better. But I just felt like it was too thick, and I didn't like that. And then another thing too that annoyed me, which is to a lot of people it was a big complaint. Others it was a mini complaint. But you had to keep pulling it out if you wanted to change the games and whatnot. I just feel like, and the third party grip that I got has a tiny slot where I can pop the game in and out. I don't see why that was such a hard thing to put into this. But to me,
Well, it uses the infrared, so
I don't think that's in the way of the actual slot though, because that's right next to it.
yeah, but they have to have the. I'm just saying, like a grip. A grip's not going to be using that or anything. It's just the grip.
Shit. What was I gonna say? The design. I don't like the design of it. I just feel like it was really rushed. Because obviously once they saw the Vita do what it did with its dual sticks and everything, they're like, oh shit, we gotta catch up to that. Alright guys, we gotta quickly make something. Quickly, do it. And the design that I had in mind when they first announced that there was going to be an attachment for that was way better than what the actual product was. I had faith in them in making something that didn't make it look ridiculous, but when I saw the actual final thing, I was like, sweet Jesus, what the hell is that? I know right now actually, is it Nico? I think that company, they said they're going to do something that's better than the Circle Pad Pro and they're going to show it off at E3.
Nico.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of that rumor, Tyler, or not.
Oh, I've heard of it, but yeah, I haven't really bought anything from them in years. I don't really
Yeah,
think they're that good of a company.
yeah, neither have I. Better than the Mad Cats though. If it was Mad Cats, I don't even think I would look twice at it. But
Wait, is Mad Catz like still operating? Are they still
yeah,
around?
they've
What?
they've actually hidden their name by being the generic GameStop company. So GameStop's controllers are made by Mad Cats. That's Mad Cats right there.
Huh, you learn something new every day.
Pretty much anything that's GameStop brand, obviously GameStop, is Mad Cats. I didn't even know that until randomly I was looking up something about the GameStop component cables, and they're like, don't buy them. They're Mad Cats. And as we all know, Mad Cats is crap. I looked into that and I was like, oh, yeah, actually everything is Mad Cats in there. So
What the hell, Game Shark's still around? What?
I don't know. Do they?
Yeah, they're owned by Mad Catz apparently. What's up with this?
I don't even think cheat codes even existed anymore.
Yeah, when's the last time like somebody entered a cheat code? I can think of like Guitar Hero. That's about it. Man, that depresses me. Whatever happened to the cheat code, you know?
I had so much fun with those, pushing a bunch of random button combinations to activate cheat mode and then push some other bullshit buttons to get it to do something.
I remember always buying Game Pro just, for the cheat section.
I actually still have one of my Game Pro cheat magazines back from 2002. I remember it has everything from SNES to the Dreamcast. And I think some PS2 in it.
Apparently, Game Shark has reviews and previews. I'm looking at a Max Payne 3 review right now from Game Shark, B+.
Really? That's interesting.
I guess they got to do something. They certainly just can't. Wait, let me see if they still have products. This is crazy. Xbox 360 Media Player. So lets you play different music types on your 360. Yeah, they really don't have much. They have like a game save manager for the Nintendo Wii. That could be useful actually. And that's about it.
I
Not
think
much to do.
the only thing nowadays that actually resembles cheat related stuff is on the PC whenever you get trainers. That's pretty much personalized Game Sharks for each game.
Yeah, somebody needs to bring back the cheat code. Come on, man.
I know, right? I need my unlimited ammo, get all weapons. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
man.
get all weapons wouldn't work in the games nowadays. Unfortunately, they don't let you carry 20 guns the size of a minivan with you at all times. It's extremely disappointing.
Damn realism.
I know, right? But actually no. What I totally don't understand when I think about it right now, you can't carry all the guns you want, but if you stand behind a wall, you magically recuperate health. How does that work?
Oh, it works. That's all I can say about that.
Because I guess if I'm in a gunfight and I got shot in the arm several times, if I just sit behind the wall, my arm will just regenerate and I can walk out again.
Pretty much.
And it's actually a big flaw in that logic. It's actually going to be annoying me a little bit now.
And some game news that just came out. They just announced a Guild 02, which is a sequel to Guild 01, which is omnibus of 4 different game developers just working on one title. Like they each do a game for it. And the first one was Level 5 is publishing these, and the first one had Suda51 and 3 other guys, and it looks really interesting. It's just coming out in Japan, but they announced the second one, and it's gonna have a game with by a Mega Man creator Inafune, and it's set in World War II, and you control a tank that has been converted to a miniature size, and you battle against giant insects. So that's probably the one that I'm mostly excited for, and it sounds epic. And they also announced another Samurai Warriors Chronicle game, so pretty excited for that. Hopefully it will come to America, because I saw they said that Dynasty Warriors Versus is not coming to North America, and that bums me out a lot because they had a Link and a Metroid Samus, Zero Suit Samus costumes in the game, and it looked really awesome. That depresses me, but nonetheless, I'm pretty excited, especially for the Guild game. If they do come out in America, I'm gonna be pumped. But so hopefully Level 5 brings that to America, because I would buy that day one. So, Julian, anything interests you in those two games?
Guild 2 seems to be the most interesting one for me. Not really big on the other one, but that one for sure is something I'm looking out for.
Yeah, the first one, the one game that really interested me, was the one by Suda51. It also had a game by, the guy who created Seaman for the, Dreamcast. And that was like I forget what it was an airport simulator. It's really just offbeat shit. Like small games created by the teams, and I really enjoy stuff like that. So really hope it comes to America. And another 3DS game you wanted to talk about is the Capcom game X Troopers.
Yes. As you guys already know from some of the other podcasts, I'm a huge fan of Lost Planet, and when this game was actually first announced, it was actually supposed to be, what's the word for it? A spin-off off the Lost Planet series. It's more cel-shaded anime style compared to the actual more realistic console ones. They actually just released a trailer for it. And like I just said, just imagine a very old school cel-shaded game. It's pretty much still a third-person shooter, heavily influenced by anime. I don't think I like that very much, but I mean, I love anime, but since I'm so used to Lost Planet having a more serious look, not really too big of a fan of that. But because they didn't really mention it being, trying to find a word for here, I'm struggling for it. Pretty much directly connected to the Lost Planet games. They said it's supposed to be similar to it.
Like a spiritual sequel, you mean?
Yeah, like a
Something
spiritual sequel, something around there. And in the trailer, they showed 8-grid, like full-blown 8-grids that you would see in the game, and that made me really excited. That's what really hyped me up there. But on a side note, what actually depressed me was the engine they used was obviously Mega Man Legends 3 engine. And they've actually received some criticism about that on some forums because they're like, so you canceled a game thousands of fans wanted to make a sequel to a game that wasn't very well, not a sequel, but a spiritual successor to a game that wasn't very well received. How does that work out? I don't think Capcom's actually made comment on that yet, but it's just something a bunch of internet people are just bitching about.
Yeah, a bunch of internet dorks, okay? First off, I mean, this stuff is retarded, okay? Don't bitch because they're using an engine. I mean, if they're using an engine and they have assets, they should use it.
Yeah,
why would they just sit on it?
I am more than grateful that they are making a Lost Planet game for a handheld for the 3DS. Whether it be the 3DS or the Vita, I really don't care. Just as long as I get it on one, I'm down. Apparently it's supposed to be released on 2 platforms, the PS3 and the 3DS. They're 2 really random ones to pick, to be honest. A lot of people were like, why not the PS3 and the Vita? Which actually originally for the Vita, they were supposed to get Lost Planet 2, but that was a tech demo, so they never released it as a full game. But back to X Troopers. Yeah, if you watch the trailer, it's pretty much an anime version of Lost Planet. I'm pretty psyched about it. Apparently you can like jetpack around and some other weird stuff.
If you want my attention in any video game, just add jetpacks. I'm down.
Yeah. You looked at the trailer. It clearly looked like the PS3 version. I really hope they don't gimp the 3DS version, but yeah, if it stays true to what was in the trailer for the 3DS version, it looks like it's going to be a phenomenal game, especially if it has co-op like the console ones. I think it'd be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's also coming to the PS3. X Troopers is. So very interesting stuff. The main producer of the game is he did Monster Hunter. So yeah, it looks very interesting. It's gonna have a manga demo event system between stages. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm guessing like maybe like a manga type like cutscenes or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it looked. Have you seen the trailer for it yet?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it kind of looked like it's pretty much gonna be that.
Yeah, I have some information on the characters if you would like to hear it.
Yeah, go for it. I didn't really pay much attention to the characters. I pretty much just watched the trailer and read like some general information on it.
So the main character's name is Bryn, and he came to the it's all school themed or something. So he came to the academy on Edian third from Edian second. I guess that's like the districts or something. He's friendly and not shy. Is driven by curiosity and aims to be number one at everything he does. So he seems kind of generic, but I'll take it. And then I like the name of the girl in the game. Her name is Tiki, Teekee. So I can dig that. She's a member of a snow pirate group that longs to live alongside Edian Third's native acrid creatures. So snow pirates, are they in like Lost Planet?
Yes, in both of them they are. I pretty sure they'd probably make an appearance in X Troopers. They're pretty much the main antagonists of the series.
Yeah. They said the one of the main characters is a member of the snow pirates. So pretty interesting stuff. And another person is Chris Lambert. He is an elite member of Academy with long experience in vitality suits. He has confidence in his aim and will come to consider Bryn his rival. So, I mean, some interesting stuff, definitely. So, you seem very excited about it. What do you think about the PS3 version?
If it wouldn't have come out on the 3DS, I would have totally gone for the PS3 version as well. I know right now I've pretty much been making like a transition from my PS3 to mainly PC gaming now. I'd rather prefer a PC version, but obviously that's not going to happen. But, like I said, if both versions are pretty much similar, I will for sure go for the 3DS version. And now that I actually think about it, if they are drastically different, as in the 3DS version looks a lot more dumbed down, and the term I use for dumbed down is pretty much when, it's on a handheld, they won't be able to handle it, so we're just gonna gimp it. Games like Killzone Liberation and Silent Hill Book of Memories did that on the PSP and PS Vita, They're not the actual full-blown game kits on a handheld, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen, especially after Resident Evil Revelations and whatnot. I feel like developers are finally starting to tap into the power of the 3DS, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be very similar in gameplay style.
Yeah, it seems like from the trailer I've seen, it looks like maybe the 3DS is even like the lead platform. So, I'm interested to see if there's any major differences. So.
I'm hoping so. And I'm hoping that literally Capcom comes out to say, oh, by the way, that gameplay trailer you guys saw would be the 3DS, because that would send my hype through the roof if that was the 3DS version we saw, because it looked awesome.
Yeah, the game definitely looks great.
Especially for, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, especially for being cell shaded, it shouldn't be taking a lot more system resources as well, so I feel like they could do a lot more with that.
So, speaking of handhelds, you have some thoughts on the Vita. You just gotta get off your chest. So breathe, Julian. Breathe.
It's not really angry things. It's just the Vita right now is not delivering for anyone at all. I'm actually staring at the upcoming PlayStation Vita game releases, and everything I was expecting to come out before August pretty much totally did not happen. Only one being Resistance Burning Skies. Silent Hill Book of Memories was supposed to come out in March. It got pushed again to this month. It was actually supposed to come out, I believe, today. And now it got pushed to October. I don't see how a game can get pushed from March to October, but alright.
I'm kinda optimistic for Silent Hill Book of Memories just because, it's being developed by WayForward. So I'm kinda hope it's good.
I'm highly optimistic, Fred. After Centipede Infestation of the 3DS and Wii, at first I was totally appalled by the idea of turning it into a Robotron style game. But when I got it, as I stated, that is one of my favorite 3DS games. I love it. It lives up to the heritage of Centipede. So I feel like this game, although it's different, they've got magic. They'll get it done. It's just gonna be purists that are gonna be throwing hissy fits about it. Oh, this isn't Silent Hill, blah, blah, blah. Alright, assholes. It's called Silent Hill Book of Memories, not Silent Hill 5 or Silent Hill 6. It's a spin-off, obviously.
I really feel like the Vita kind of blew its wad on launch because, did we really need Mod Nation Racers?
That game needed more work, by the way.
Yeah, why would they not just like delay that like 2 months, get the work in that it desperately needed, and have that during the drought period? Because the launch was like stacked. You had Uncharted, you had Wipeout, you had Hot
Rayman.
Shots Golf, Rayman Origins, tons and tons of great games. You couldn't just delay one of those and
Yeah, and you know, like you said, it burns you out because when you're done with those and you're ready to move on, there's nothing to go to. Literally, there's nothing to go to.
Hey, we've been getting one decent game a month. Thank you very much.
Mortal Kombat.
Last month we had Disgaea and
How have you been liking that though? You haven't told me how you doing with that.
I haven't played much of it. I played about like the first chapter. I've really enjoyed it though. I really dig the humor in the game, and I'm really liking it so far. I really need to get back into it. I've just been playing games like about 30 minutes, and then I move on to the next game in my backlog, and it seems like I'm just working through each one at like a snail's pace instead of just doing one at once. And but I definitely am enjoying it. And then like I think this month the Mortal Kombat came out like very early in the month, so I guess we get 2 this month too.
Yeah, and Resistance.
Yeah, next month we get 2. We get Gravity Rush and Metal Gear Solid HD Collection.
And guess what? On May 29th, Pure Chess comes out. Who does not want to play chess on the go? Like,
I wonder if that's a full retail release.
I don't think so. I hope not.
It's downloadable.
It's downloadable. Yeah. And I'm just looking at the list of Gravity Rush is going to come out next month.
I can't wait for Gravity Rush.
I've been on and off about it. I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to get it just so I can build up my collection. I'm pretty sure I'll like it once I get it, so I'm not really too worried about that. And then after that, it's empty. You have Metal Gear Solid HD Collection that's been released 20 times already. So, and I'm not a fan of Metal Gear Solid, so it's not really a big deal to me. Lego Batman 2, not a big deal.
You know what? That actually looks really good, Lego Batman 2. They just released a new trailer for it today, showing off all the open world aspects, and it actually surprised me. It looked very good.
It's the day they say, hey, we're making a Lego Harry Potter collection for the Vita, I'd be psyched about that. I think that's the only Lego game I've actually truly enjoyed. And then you have Madden NFL, because we can't get enough of those sports games.
That's in the 8th month. There's no scheduled North American releases for month 7, which is
literally. And originally what was supposed to be released in the 7th month is Little Big Planet, which apparently has totally fallen off the radar for upcoming release dates.
I'm sure we'll get some information at E3 probably. Hopefully.
Yeah. Then there's FIFA Soccer, who can't get enough of those soccer games. Silent Hill Book of Memories in October, Smartass, October 23rd, and what was actually supposed to come out this month, which got pushed to next month, and now October 23rd, was Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits, which is really weird because isn't the game already out in Japan?
No, it comes out 6/14.
Yeah, it's coming out 6/14 in Japan, and literally 4 months later it comes out in America.
Well, they do have to do some changes to it. I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
The half-naked lady stage.
Yes, that is the greatest thing ever.
I just don't understand. When I found out about that, all it asked me was, why? Who would put that in there?
Because Sega is doing very poorly financially, and they need somebody to buy their games. And instead of innovating with gameplay, they just said, "Hey, let's throw some tits on there." So,
why?
And the thing that sucks is the Vita actually has a really good list of games coming out in Japan. It's just in North America and Europe, nothing.
Yeah, Europe is even worse.
Yeah, in Japan they have some really cool games. They have Persona 4 The Golden coming out next month. They have Time Travelers by Level 5, which is also coming to the 3DS. That comes out 7/12, and just a lot of cool games that they're not even confirmed for America, and that bums me out. Oh, and Samurai and Dragons by Sega. That is a free-to-play game, and that looks really very good.
And I just realized what has disappeared from here, which makes me extremely depressed, is Warrior's Lair. I was really hyped about it's apparently called Ruin now, but I was extremely hyped about it because I'm a huge fan of dungeon crawlers in the style of like Diablo and stuff like that, and it's totally disappeared off the charts. It's not even on the release dates anymore. All message boards for it are dead. Devs haven't said anything about it. Another one too was Dragon's Crown. That's not even on the release chart anymore. It's only talked about, I think the last one they talked about it was actually a few weeks ago. They said one teeny bit of detail for it and that was it. Nothing else about it. And we literally have nothing else to look forward to. I know that the 3DS's launch was horrible, but at least we kind of got a good idea of what we were going to be expecting eventually.
You know what? I will defend the 3DS's launch. I've probably said this before, but I enjoyed the 3DS's launch. It was very deep. It didn't have like any huge games, but it was deep, and it like some games that you probably wouldn't give a chance were actually pretty damn good. Like the Rayman Raving Rabbids game, it wasn't a launch title, it was a launch window title. It was actually a pretty decent 2D platformer.
I was always thinking about getting that one, but every time I was going to get it, I was like, no, I can't stand the Rabbids, so I never even bothered getting it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. And back to the Vita, there are some good news coming out. The new Sly Cooper game has been announced to coming to the Vita as well as the PS3, so I'm pretty excited about that. I've never played any of the Sly Cooper games.
Same here, and I'm really hyped about that.
There is a HD collection out called the Sly Collection, and I'm going to be picking that up. So I'm not sure if I can find any stores. I might have to go online, but it's only like $25 new now on Amazon. So why not pick that up, get 3 quality platformers, and get pumped up for the next game.
And also, what's this I hear about PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale coming to the Vita?
I hope. Have you heard anything concrete?
I've actually heard there's like a confirmed source that did pretty much, confirm it. So, fingers crossed. I mean, honestly, I see it happening. I feel like this is kind of Sony's. It's already obviously Sony's answer to Smash Brothers, but it's Project Sora has already said before that, hey, Smash Brothers, 3DS, and Wii U are supposed to have some kind of connectivity, so I feel like this is going to be Sony's answer to that is, oh, well, we're going to do the same thing and see how that turns out. So this is going to be the first time Sony decides to do something like that. Obviously, we all know Sony is very well known for following a Nintendo shadow, so I'm pretty sure it would come out for the Vita as well. They'd be stupid not to release it for that as well.
I really hope so, because if it does come out for the Vita, it's a day one buy for me.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty much any of the Vita games that I'm waiting for are day one buys for me, because I love the Vita hardware. I love the hardware. I love everything about it. The party chat, the online infrastructure, everything is just, it's perfect for me. It's everything I would want in a handheld. The only thing is, once I've burnt out all my games, because I've actually beaten Wipeout 2048. I'm almost done with Rayman Origins. I've beaten Uncharted. Mod Nation is pretty much nearly unplayable at this point. Hot Shots I've gotten really far in. And, you know, on a really quick side note, I've actually been playing Mod Nation Racers on the original PSP, and sadly, it actually performs and looks a lot more cleaner than the Vita version, which is sad. Because when I went back to the Vita version, it was choppy as hell, draw distance was terrible, and like when I went back to the PSP version, draw distance was perfectly fine and everything was stable. So once again, they rushed out. I would have rather waited for Mod Nation to have a full-blown story mode like the originals and actually work properly and have it released way later this year rather than how it got released at the beginning. That's besides the point. But yeah,
so with July not having any Vita releases, are you planning to maybe pick up a game or two that you missed for the Vita, or do you think you really have everything that has interested you?
I think I'm going to be waiting until the game's price drop, because I have some other games that I do want, but I don't feel like they warrant a full price tag or even a used price tags. Those games are Army Corps of Hell and Luminous Electronic Symphony. Luminous, I actually loved the demo to death, especially when songs that I really liked came up. I got really into it, but my problem with it is when I get past all that, it's just a Tetris clone. It's probably gonna last me tops like 2 hours before I know I'm not gonna touch it again. So that I'm literally waiting until it goes down to like $20 or something around there, which I know is gonna happen eventually.
Oh man, I
Uh,
totally forgot about Luminous's existence. I really gotta get that.
yeah, it's pretty fun, but right now with where my budget is, it's not on my watch. It's not really on my to buy list right now until the price starts dropping. And then the other one I have is Army Corps of Hell. Uh, I've actually, to be honest, I only want that game because I'm desperate for more games on my Vita, which is sad. And it looks, since obviously it plays similar to Overlord and Pikmin and stuff like that, I guess I'll give it a shot. But to be honest, the gameplay looks extremely bland and very repetitive. So, yeah, that one's gonna wait until it's at like a $15 price tag or less. So I think that one's gonna be waiting for quite a while. But those two are pretty much the only ones that I want that are out until the next big game comes out. So Resistance Burning Skies, obviously, but I'll be buying that day one for sure. So it's no question asked about that.
Yeah, the one other release that I'm pretty interested in is Dynasty Warriors Next. I actually haven't seen it in stores any, which
Really,
kind of bothers me.
I've actually seen it at all the GameStops over here. I think even some of them have a pre-owned copy.
Yeah, I might have to look. I haven't really been looking, but I haven't noticed it. So maybe it is there. I'll just look, and if not, maybe I'll just break down and buy it online. But I definitely want to get Dynasty Warriors Next because I really enjoyed Samurai Warrior Chronicles for 3DS. Another underrated launch title for the 3DS. I adore that game. And so yeah, I'm probably gonna pick that up sometime soon.
And actually another game that I actually do want to pick up is Mortal Kombat. I forgot about that one. That's another one on my list that I actually want to get.
Yeah, I can attest to that game. I've played a bit of it, probably about 3 or 4 hours. The online is smooth, no lag at all. And I've really enjoyed the game so far. Speaking of online and lag, let's talk a little bit about Mario Tennis Open, which is it's pretty much like a tale of two games because online sometimes it will be smooth and have zero problems, and then just randomly it will just go into the slowest, choppiest online I've seen in a while. I adore this like core gameplay, but that online is like bipolar.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is that the online is extremely bare bones. It's pretty much when you start the online, it's so do you want to play a tiebreaker game or do you want to play a game that has one set with two games? And you're like, I'll do this one. You click it, pick a character, it matches you with the person, and that's it. No one picks the stage, no one picks more specific rules, no one picks anything. It does it all for you.
Well, when you create a room for the friend portion, like if you're playing against people on your buddy list, you can pick the stage. Like I had ours set to random.
Yeah, see that I don't know why they wouldn't do that for the regular online mode for whatever reason. That's just as bare bones as you can get with that. Like literally it's I can't even find the words for it right now. I don't want to say I feel ripped off, but it's stupid because I know like Kid Icarus Uprising, they give you more options than that. I know the stages are randomly picked and stuff like that, but you have a lot more options than what you're given in this game when you start.
Yeah, I have not played Kid Icarus Uprising online. How is it?
It's incredible. With everything that goes on, there's moments where everyone uses like their strongest items or attacks, and they're just particles and explosions and everything flying everywhere, and I have never gotten lag once. It's phenomenal online. That Kid Icarus Uprising is literally what I think the pinnacle of online is for the 3DS at the moment. Actually, we need to play that. We haven't even played that against each other since we've forgotten it, so we got to get down on that.
Yeah, we will. We'll definitely get on it. We were playing some Mario Tennis Open online recently, and it was smooth. But
yeah, we had no problems with that.
No, we did not. I have had problems against random people, but against you, no problems. And at first I was whooping your ass, but then you seemed to dust that rust off. His first excuse for sucking was that he was rusty on a game that
Shut
came out
up.
the day before.
Shut up.
But yeah, you got that dust off, and you started
I,
whooping my ass. You found your
I came
character
back
in
and
Diddy Kong.
I came back and I was actually quite surprised, to be honest. I was like, oh shit, I'm actually kicking your ass now.
Well, guess what? I now have Blue Yoshi, so
Oh, fancy.
bring it. No way you can beat my Blue Yoshi. Because
Well,
Blue Yoshi don't mess around, homie.
we'll see about that. Diddy Kong will show you how it's done.
And one other thing we wanted to touch about is the Wii U rumors that's been going on, and the Wii U, the new version of the Wii U controller leaked, and I'm pretty impressed by the redesign, to be honest. They changed the control pads, like the 3DS, to actual analog sticks, and there's been a rumor for a while that it'll be clickable, so pretty excited for it. And I wish it would have shown the back of the Wii U controller too, because I've been hearing rumors that it's gonna have like triggers like the 360 controller for the back.
Because I know in some of the other images of the original controller, they showed that it was going to have triggers. So I'm not sure if they would still keep it or not.
I really hope it does, because I forget who it was. I think it was Gearbox, and I think they were saying that it was like the best controller for first person shooters.
Yeah,
They're
and
really loving it.
overall, with the little indents they had on the back for the triggers, it made the controller look extremely comfortable to hold on to. So,
Oh yeah. Everybody online, all these idiots online, keep saying it's bulky and that it's going to be uncomfortable. But every single person that has held the controller loves it. So, hey.
yeah, honestly, what they did with it was, literally its concept is pretty much, oh look, it's an iPad with buttons and it's actually comfortable to hold on to. Isn't that awesome? And I'm pretty psyched about it. I think the feature I'm most excited about on the Wii U is actually being able to stream the game to the controller wherever I am in the house. And I'm actually pretty psyched to hear and see more about how that works and if every game is going to be supporting it. So I'm pretty excited.
I don't think every game is. I think it's more just because you can't get I don't think too complex with it, but I think probably a lot of Nintendo first party titles will.
Yeah, because I feel like that the controller is going to be used a lot more for gimmicks and stuff, for bigger games and whatnot. So I feel like when that actually gets turned into the gaming screen, it's going to really mess that concept up. So I feel like they're going to stay away from that. And on a note, adding on to the controller leak, on a depressing note on that, the guy who actually leaked it is apparently fired and is actually going to be taken to court by Nintendo for breaking NDA on that. So that's kind of sad. It sucks to be him at the moment.
But he did good. He did good.
He took one for the team.
I commend you. Random guy who leaked it.
I was like, that sucks. I did it. I mean, I understand about NDA and stuff like that, but it's just okay. They converted from slider pad to joysticks. It's not really that big of a deal to be taking someone to court over and whatnot. But, of course, when you look at it from the business point of view, that is a very secretive thing that he did disclose to the entire world online. So he obviously can't be trusted with that again, and that's going to really screw him over whenever he tries to find another job.
Yeah, I have a bunch of other rumors too. This is apparently from a leaked Ubisoft developer. This is rumor though, so don't take this all at it. And it says the Ubisoft's launch titles for the game for the Wii U will be Rayman Legends, which looks phenomenal. The Avengers game, which was just recently announced. Assassin's Creed 3, Just Dance 4. Julian, you seem like a guy who likes Just Dance, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Especially putting it on webcam for you.
Oh, there you go. And then, and Killer Freaks from Outer Space is going to be a launch window title, but not a launch day title.
That's kind of depressing. I was really looking forward to that one.
Well, I mean, I think I always like the launch window titles because it gives them a little space to differentiate themselves because it'd probably get lost in the launch day shuffle, you know?
Yeah.
And then, some other details. It says Assassin's Creed 3 will run at 60 frames per second at 1080p, and it's only going to run, 720p on the 360 and Xbox, or the PS3 and Xbox.
Derp.
And, it also says that Crytek, EA, and Valve are going to be working on the Wii U. This is a rumor, though. But if Valve are working on the Wii U, that has me pretty excited.
Hearing Crytek makes me extremely skeptical because Crytek doesn't seem to be very friendly or favoritive about Nintendo these past few years, and even now when they were actually asked, hey, so I believe it was Crysis 3, they're like, hey, are you going to port Crysis 3 to the console? And pretty much they're like, no, why would we do that? So that's going to be interesting to see if they changed their ways and decided to develop for Nintendo. So
Yeah, definitely.
we'll see how that goes. I mean, me right now, all these third parties and stuff, I'm taking it with a really huge grain of salt. I don't mean to jinx it. I'm just going by past, what's been happening lately and in the past was when the original Wii released, every developer was like, oh my god, we have to make for it. This is going to sell. This is going to be the best console ever. Where has that landed the Wii now? To many people, it's a joke of a gaming console because it doesn't have third party support, mainly just first party or whatnot, few third party here and there, but like Dead Space Extraction was just a totally gimped. I actually love Extraction, but really an on-the-rails shooter, why didn't you just, especially being a prequel to the other ones, why didn't they just make it like the other ones? They could have handled it. Dead Space on the iPod worked remarkably well, and that was a handheld. They could have done it on the Wii, and it would have worked really well. And it's like Infinity Ward never gives the Wii the benefit of the doubt and never develops for it. Bring over the Call of Duty games. It's always Treyarch that does it.
Yeah, I think Treyarch does a good job with their Wii versions of the.
And you know what? I actually really don't like Infinity Ward's Call of Duties. I prefer Treyarch's 100%. I tend to enjoy them a lot more. That's just a personal preference there. So middle finger to Infinity Ward there, but whatever. And just everything in general. And the PS3 and 360 have been sharing all these big third-party releases along with the PC and whatnot, and then all of them now are like, oh, we're gonna make. They actually no, this is the same thing they did with the 3DS too. Oh, they're gonna make Assassin's Creed for it. Oh, they're gonna make this. Oh, they're gonna make that. Oh my God, this is so revolutionary. We're gonna make this on there. Blah 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 blah. We've heard this 1,000 times for every Nintendo console, and it never happens. That's why third-party support for the Wii U, I'm just not counting on it. I'm just looking forward to my first-party games, second-party games, and that's it. If a third party shows up on there and I'm not able to get it on my PC, you bet I'll get on the Wii U. But right now, I'm not really counting on what these publishers and developers are saying because I still think they're full of shit, especially since most of them can't really get their facts straight on if it's more powerful than what's out currently, or less, more powerful, less powerful, pretty much same amount of system specs, whatnot. So I really don't think any of them know what they're talking about. They're just talking out of their ass. So I'm just going to wait until it officially releases, actually see stuff start showing up for it, and then I'll make my final judgment. But for now, all these companies, I think they're full of shit, and I'm not really listening to what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm more optimistic, but, in recent big releases, for the first time in 12 years, we had a new Diablo game. Diablo 3 came out, and I haven't had the chance to play it yet because initially my guest pass was not being accepted by Blizzard. I think just server problems and whatnot. But it worked yesterday, so I'm going to be downloading that today and hopefully getting into it soon. And Julian, you've been playing the game. How are you enjoying it so far?
Well, let me tell you, when I first started it up, I had a nostalgia attack as I showed whole map of Sanctuary, and I saw shit like Luke Elaine show up and whatnot. But those of you who enjoy the series, as you all know by now, it's different than the previous games. And what I mean by that is the general game mechanics have changed. It still plays like Diablo, but the way the characters actually play is really different. For example, being like right now, I'm the wizard. Um, those of you who played, Necromancer and Wizards in the previous Diablo games know that all magical powers required mana. You had mana potions, stuff like that. And then of course you could carry a regular melee weapon or ranged weapon or a scepter, staff, wand, whatever. In Diablo 3 now, I'm using the wizard as an example because that's pretty much the only class I've been playing as. Your main attack is actually a magic attack. And your secondary attack is a magic attack as well. Pretty much all your skills are magic attacks. You can't use any basic weapons. And you don't have mana anymore. It's arcane power. And you don't buy, quote unquote, what we would use for the situation, arcane power, potions. It recharges on its own pretty quickly. And then of course the regular magic attack, it doesn't use any kind of arcane power, so you constantly use it. And when you level up, you don't assign skill points to like dexterity, vitality, strength, anything like that. They scrap that in favor of now putting your skill points into the skill tree, which, can either upgrade your attacks with, rune stones to make it more powerful or add little special side effects to them, or getting new skill sets. And the 4 attacks that you can use now as a wizard is your main one, your secondary, which is one that uses arcane power, and then you have a defensive one, which right now the one I have is a Frost Nova, and pretty much that's the ring of ice that erupts around you to freeze enemies and stuff like that. And that doesn't use arcane power either, but it has a recharge counter, as well as the defensive one. It's an offensive one, which is where my character jumps up in the air and sends down a shockwave. Once again, that's another one that recharges, has a recharge counter and stuff like that. So that's the really big difference with the game. But besides that, you're still trudging through dungeons, killing waves of monsters. The randomized dungeons, everything is still there. The only problem I can see people having with it, which kind of takes away from the atmosphere, is that your character actually now talks. They have full-blown lines of text that they speak. So it's not like in the original where they're like, oh, not enough mana, or evil lurks here. No, they actually talk full sentences and paragraphs and stuff to other characters. And that's good and all. I actually really like that. But when you're out in the field, at times your character, if you have a partner or something, they'll say a joke to one another, or they essentially just talk too much. And it kind of detracts from the atmosphere of the game because it's supposed to be dark. These are hell's demons everywhere, and, the world is ending, everyone's dying and whatnot. It lightens it up, which I don't know if that was their intention or not, but I really don't like that because, like I said, it detracts from the atmosphere of the game, which is supposed to be dark. But besides all that, it's a polished game. People have complained about lag. I myself haven't gotten any lag. I don't know if it's just my specs or my internet connection or whatnot.
I think it was just like launch day woes that Blizzard has fixed.
Yeah, because they haven't done any patches since then. I know when I first bought the game, I had to get a really big patch for it, but they haven't done anything else past then. And then of course comes the con that I have with the game, which everyone else has with the game. We all know that Blizzard's DRM is that you have to be constantly connected online to play the game. Okay, that's not really much of a problem for any of us. But the main problem comes from this. Imagine you've been trudging because the dungeons in this game later in the first act actually get really, really, really huge and branch off in really different directions. And it's not like Torchlight where it branches out, you walk like 5 feet down in one direction, you find a treasure chest and you go back the other direction. Like, no. These dead end sections go on for miles before you realize, all right, there's nothing over here, so you have to go back to the totally other side and whatnot. So imagine if you're trudging in a dungeon for about 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden you get a message that pops up that says, you've been kicked from the server. Timeout commencing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and your game logs you out. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? And it's all because their server messed up, or maybe your internet temporarily went down, and when you log back in, it saved all your stuff. So all the experience points and items that you got are still there. So that's good. But you literally have to start all the way over in the beginning of the dungeon or wherever your last checkpoint was. And it doesn't sound bad, but it does get frustrating after a while, especially if it does it to a lot. It's happened to me once. It actually turned me off from actually playing the game for the rest of the day. But it's something that I really hope they decide to fix. It's been a launch day problem as well for people, that the server actually wouldn't let them log in, or to keep logging them out, or the servers were down or something like that. So I don't even know how that's even possible. If Blizzard has all this money from World of Warcraft and are constantly supporting the World of Warcraft servers, why in the hell is one of their only big launch title for this year suffering from such terrible launch problems? That's not like Blizzard right there. That's really disappointing, but they seem to fix it all by now, so I don't think anyone else has really much to worry about.
Yeah, I have to ask, do you actually, pay any attention to the story in the Diablo games?
I actually do, surprisingly. Ever since the original, the first, which I played when I was 8, I played through all the side quests, which, yes, there were side quests in that game, for those of you who remember. Killed all the little side bosses, went into the little side dungeons and stuff like that. And like I said, that's why, when the game started up, I had a little nostalgia attack as just stuff started showing up on the map and whatnot, because it's the Archbishop Lazarus, or the skeleton, because actually some of the bosses from the first Maker return in this was just the Butcher and the Skeleton King. I remember the Skeleton King was a really hard secret area to get to in the original, with the hardest hell Skeleton King boss you had to kill. And he makes his debut back in this one, and there's just a lot more lore added to the world of Sanctuary, and just a whole bunch of characters you really come to appreciate. Just for me, the game I hold it really close to my heart. It's one of my favorite all-time PC games. Always played it in my childhood, so I'm just really nostalgic about it. When you see Deckard Cain again, you're like, oh yay, Kane's alive, but and it doesn't last very long. Sorry to spoil it for anyone, but and just more stuff keeps being added on, and it's not stuff where it's okay, that leaves Paul or whatnot. No, it all adds up. You see a lot of the classic enemies come back in a obviously really nice 3D graphical form. Just a whole bunch of stuff they added in there that a lot of people would remember from the originals and stuff like that, which makes you feel like you're playing in the same world. Unlike, say, a game like Dungeon Siege 3, totally different to the originals, and I just feel like it did not add up to anything that gas-powered games built up with the series. But this one, made by the same developers, obviously, still continues the storyline. Just everything you've recognized to come and love from the series is there. But like I said, the gameplay mechanics now about skill points and how all that works might turn some people away, because that's just not the Diablo they remember. But if you have the money for it, I say go for it. At first, I wasn't a big fan of the game. I don't remember if I ever told you, Tyler, but I know I told some other people. It seemed pretty meh in the beginning. I really didn't see anything that made it seem, oh my god, this is so cool, or this was totally worth the $60 or anything. But the more I've gotten into it, I'm like, wait, oh shit, I'm actually addicted to this. Cause once I turn on my computer, that's the first thing I do. I play it for 3 hours, and then I go on to do something else. I haven't done that in a game for a very long time. So once you get into it and everything else, you'll really come to like it.
Yeah, the whole interface of the game is just gorgeous, and I really like the way how it handles lore. Whenever you pick it up, it just goes to the corner, and you can have it play, and just very nice.
That's another really cool feature that I enjoy. As Tyler just said, there's little moments where you'll find a journal entry or something of another character, and you can read it. And when you click it, it just plays in the background, and the character just talks about whatever was written in there. And other things are, when you kill monsters, they get added into a bestiary in the game, and you can click the little lore thing on the side, and it'll be some random character saying, oh, well, that kind of monster is this. It does this and that. Villagers are scared of it because it does this and whatnot. It's just really cool stuff that really adds, pretty much to the overall experience. And, As a lot of people know, I'm all about whatever adds to experience. A lot of people don't like that when you have to read through stuff that adds, like Final Fantasy 13 does that. There's a lot of reading through little side blogs and stuff like that. But a lot of people didn't understand the story because I don't feel like reading. Well, I guess that's unfortunate for you if you want to find anything out when you're playing a role-playing game. But I enjoy stuff when they actually add content like that. Feels like it's a nice little touch. So I was really impressed they put that in there. That's actually something I really wanted in Diablo 2. And I was surprised. I didn't even know about that feature until I started playing the game. So I was really surprised. And also another thing they added too, the map is finally conveniently located in the top right corner. No longer is it going to be in the middle of your screen, blocking most of your view, which was annoying. Also, as with all quote-unquote modernized games nowadays, there are waypoint markers on it. It doesn't point an arrow to where you should go, so it's not like, oh, go over here and like make it extremely easy. Like when you go to a waypoint, there's going to be a marker next to where the area closest to your objective is. You go there, and the map doesn't show anything past that. It just shows, wherever you're going and whatnot. And when you get close to the objective, you'll see a little blinking marker next to it. So that's cool because it encourages exploration and, of course, doesn't hold your hand through the whole game like a lot of other games do, literally pointing you straight to it. I really don't see the fun in that, especially when you want to explore and it's an RPG game. So, they've added some modern stuff here and there, but overall they've kept it to pretty much what it's been.
Yeah, it seems like Blizzard has done a great job with Diablo 3, and it just got a 5 out of 5 from Giant Bomb, and getting all kind of praise, and it seems like a great game, and I'm very excited to play it finally. I've been watching a lot of gameplay videos from Giant Bomb in particular, so I'm really just excited for it. And to close out, Julian, any other topics you want to discuss here?
Not really. We've pretty much just covered most of it. Pretty
Yeah,
much already discussed the Vita, future titles for the Vita. We know the 3DS has a whole bunch down the road.
so I guess let's just discuss what game we're getting next, and that would be Resistance, right?
Yep, Resistance Burning Skies next Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. It's really the first-person shooter game for the Vita.
Yep, and after playing first-person shooter games on my PSP a few days ago, I'm really hyped to see how that plays out. The only thing that slightly irks me is the whole touchscreen concept, but I'm pretty sure that won't be too bad.
Yeah, it looks good from the gameplay I've watched. I haven't really seen anything recent. I mean, they released a trailer like a couple weeks ago, so hopefully they get some more footage out there.
Did you see? I think there was one released a few days ago. It was the one
I
that
don't think
actually,
I've seen it.
it pretty much capitalized on the whole touchscreen of it, how whenever you're using weapons and stuff like that, that home on enemies or anything like that, you like tap the enemy and tap some icon and it locks on and whatnot, or some other nonsense. Pretty much shows up on how that works.
Cool, I'll definitely check that out, and I hope you guys all enjoyed listening to the third episode of the Hard Reset Show. This is Tyler in for Julian. We are out. Peace.
Yeah.